In this video, we cover an overview of the WordPress maintenance process. Now, the point of the entire WordPress maintenance tutorials training program is to help you create and follow a system for performing regular WordPress maintenance of your site or sites that will save you time and ensure that you've actually done a complete and thorough site maintenance that gets your site backed up, optimized, protected, and upgraded. In order to do this, in order to actually have a system, we have to understand how to follow a specific and logical sequence of maintenance tasks, because this is an important foundation of actually having a time-effective system. And what I mean by this is, for example, when it comes to upgrading or updating your WordPress plugins, you really shouldn't be performing that step of the process before you actually update your WordPress installation, because sometimes upgrading WordPress plugins to later versions on an older installation of WordPress can cause problems. Now, this is connected to the fact that you actually shouldn't be upgrading your WordPress installation before you actually perform a backup of your WordPress database, because if something goes wrong, you are going to need to be able to restore some of the data or even completely reinstall your site. And in terms of backing up your WordPress database, this step shouldn't be performed until you've actually cleaned up and optimized your WordPress site data. There are some reasons for that, such as you don't need to be downloading unnecessary data that bloats up the size of your database, but also having unwanted data in your database can sometimes lead to errors and problems when you try to re-import it later on. So as you can see, this is just an example of how the steps are connected, and the entire methodology behind the WordPress maintenance tutorials training program is that each of the training modules is delivered to you in the exact order you need to help you perform the next logical sequence of the WordPress maintenance process. So if we take a look, we're going to see that there will be 5 main components throughout the training tutorials that underpin the WordPress site maintenance process. It begins by removing unnecessary data from your site, such as comment spam and deleting unused plugins and things like that. We then back up all your data and files before we perform any upgrades. We also check to see if the updates are required and if it's the right time and if it's appropriate to actually upgrade them, because sometimes the upgrade notes can point to problems or errors that other users are experiencing, and sometimes it's better to just hold off on upgrading the plugin until it's actually been until some of the bugs have been ironed out. You then also want to upgrade any site components to the latest versions if appropriate, and if required, and this comes into the area of troubleshooting, if problems arise or any errors happen, and they often do and can, you need to be able to then restore or reinstall your data if necessary. Now, the way that this looks, if we were to flowchart all of the steps in their logical sequence, is a diagram that looks like this. So this map will serve as the entire basis for the WordPress maintenance tutorials training modules that will follow in over the next series of tutorials and videos. So hopefully this has given you an idea that although it might look fairly complex, once we go through the process, and we'll be going through this together over the next training modules, once we go through this process and you understand the correct and logical sequence, everything can happen a lot faster, which means that after a while, performing regular site maintenance on your website, on your WordPress site or blog, will become something that's very easy, very time efficient, and you will know that you have actually performed every step that was required to ensure complete and thorough maintenance. So hopefully you have found this video useful, and we'll see you in the next videos and tutorials.